wanted to give some context on where you guys are. So we're here at iHub. iHub is an incubator. I'm sure Corbin will give a little bit more context, but essentially it's an entrepreneurial startup center. We have sponsored this, so you'll see in about an hour we'll have J-Dogs here in the lounge. It's the Grit Lounge, and so ultimately life is who you do it with, and Corbin is someone that we want to be associated with. I've known Corbin for a long time. He's a good friend. He's just somebody that we at the Grit and Grit leadership is just really proud to be associated with. And so when you go eat, take a peek around. There's a couple hundred now. How many companies are in the back? 209 companies that operate out of this building. This building used to be Solcius Solar. They BK'd, unfortunately. But before they did, fortunately for Corbin, unfortunately for them and their shareholders. But before they did, they built a really nice building for Corbin's, dreams, which was nice of them. Guys, Corbin is the epitome of entrepreneur. I heard this definition the other day, and it just totally describes Corbin. An entrepreneur is someone who jumps out the plane and builds the parachute on the way down. I mean, that is Corbin Church. Let me give you one example of how that is. And again, Corbin's going to talk a lot about a lot of things. This is part 4, episode 4 of the wealth equation. As you guys all know, we want to have massive impact at Grit, not just at people at Grit, but kind of worldwide. And truly want to just help as many people get where they want to get as possible. Part of that is making great money, and a massive part of that is being smart with it. And so this is part of our push to educate. And this tonight is education. Corbin teaches at BYU. He teaches and does this at BYU every single semester. And so you guys don't even have to pay tuition for BYU. You get to hear from Corbin live tonight in an intimate setting, and it will be on the recording. Here's an example of how Corbin figures things out and why he's been so wildly successful. So I see him at Riverside, and I know he had just listed his house. And so I asked him, hey, how it's going? He goes, I sold it. And it was for 8 figures. It's a big sell. I'm like, that's awesome. When do you have to be out of there? He's like, I think I got to be out of there in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. Like, that's soon. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I don't know yet. I mean, this is, again, wife, family. He's like, I don't know where. And he just told me I still have a deal on a house, has put a bunch of money into him. And that's just Corbin. He's a doer. He figures it out. He's a mentor. He inspires me. Let's make some noise for Corbin Church.
I love JT. He's my man. I'd do anything. He asked me to jump out of a plane, I'd jump out of a plane. I hope I can figure out how to build a parachute before I go smack. Hey, nice job for being here. You guys took your own guys and gals. 1, 2, 3, 4 ladies in the house. What's up? Are you selling? Or are you just participating tonight? Selling? Retired. I need to talk to you. You knocking? You knocking? Let's go. Lady, top rookie. I just have to say that for the ladies, this is such an opportunity for ladies because I'm going to buy from a lady before I'm going to buy from a man. I trust a woman more than I trust a man. And I think that's human nature. It could just be me, but it's a great opportunity for ladies. But look who's in the room. The room's full of men. So it's a great opportunity for ladies, and I'm impressed when I see ladies who have the courage to step out and knock doors. Both of my daughters went and knocked doors selling pests. So let's go. I think it's awesome. You said you're retired. And so you're retired from knocking. What are you doing? Let's go. All right. Another house. You're talking dirty to me. I like it. When people say another house, that's just dirty talk, man. Let's go. All right. So you're all going to knock, or you've been knocking. That's cool. I'm one of the world's biggest advocates. Zacharias, am I a big advocate for knocking doors? Zacharias, he's been in my class. How many have been in my class? I push it hard, don't I? Despite maybe the school doesn't like me talking about it. I've been pushing it hard the last few weeks because I'm getting to the end of a semester. And I believe the key to success in life is knocking doors. I'm sitting last summer at Sundance, one of the companies that I invest a lot with. They have a lot of my money and they're investing it. And I'm sitting next to somebody else in the portfolio. She's with Lane Company in Lehigh, and her name's Sunny Giles. And we're sitting there chatting. I tell her about the 4 funds that I manage. And she said, and we were just talking about that I teach entrepreneurs. And she said, you know what I look for when I invest? I'm looking for 5 things. And let me just tell you right now, I'm not going to remember what all 5 of them are. She says, I'm looking for a founder who grew up on a farm. I'm looking for a founder who plays a classical instrument at a performance level. I'm looking for a founder, if you stall, it kills some of the effect. I'm looking for a founder who played collegiate athletics. And there was something else, and she said, and I'm looking for a founder who succeeded at summer sales. Sunny Giles, Lane VC. I don't know. Bigger than, she does big deals, I do small deals. My investments are 50 to 250K. She's probably no less than $1 million. She's a VC, I'm an angel. Vast difference. She's probably not even writing $1 million checks unless she's syndicating. You get what I'm saying? This right here is a learning opportunity for you. It's why my 2 daughters went out and knocked doors, and it's why I tell all of my students go out and knock doors. And education is important. But what's being taught over there and what's happening, the real thing that's happening over on that campus where I happen to reside is networking is taking place. Education, dude, I mean, you guys can learn on YouTube in a day what they're teaching you in 4 hours. School just hasn't caught up with YouTube. But my students are like, so should I drop out? No. But you did. That's a good point. But I got lucky. No, the point is networking. So networking is one of the most important things I'm going to tell you. You can't meet enough people. I had a young man in my class yesterday. I was interviewing him. He was in my class a year ago. He's dropped out. But he started this business, and he told us about how when he was 18 years old, he just started interviewing entrepreneurs. I could not be more impressed. You guys knock on a door, and the owner of that home is an entrepreneur. I want you to conduct an entrepreneur interview. Dude, I want to be an entrepreneur. Will you tell me about your business? What do you do? That is so cool. What got you into that? How'd you come up with that idea? That is fascinating. I want to be an entrepreneur. Would you recommend entrepreneurism? Yes? No? Give me some advice here, man. Thanks. 9 out of 10 times, the owner of that house is going to say, dude, you're a stud. I'm impressed you're knocking on doors. When you get ready and you start your business, I want you to give me a buzz. I'm glad to help you out. You are creating contacts. You need as many people in your circle as you can possibly get. Your success will not be determined by your idea, your work ethic, any of that stuff. It will be determined by how big your circle of influence is. How many people you know. How smart you are. You got an IQ of 20 billion. Good for you. You got a 56 on the ACT when there's only 36 possible. Good for you. You're going to make me a heck of an employee. Your network is what will make you successful. So my question to you, Miss Retired, and I'm going to take it to everybody now, who's going to knock doors for life? Seriously? Okay, one guy. One guy's going to knock doors for life. He's going to have some sore knuckles. But literally, are we going to knock doors? Okay, how long you going to knock for? How many years? Yeah. 15 years. How many years you going to knock for? JT loves you. Probably like 3. How many years you going to knock for, Orange? 5. Okay. What's the average in here? 5-ish? 3-ish? Okay, 3 to 5. What are you going to do next? Okay, when you finish in year 15, what are you, year 5? How much are you making in year 5? Nope. Unacceptable answer. How much you making in year 5? Okay, that's a good number. That's about what I hear on the norm. At 5 years, most people are making 500-ish. I know a couple in here who are doing 750, but 500 is a good number. You're going to quit in 5 years. What you going to do? You going to go get a job? You going to go get a job paying 70 and work 2 times as much for 1/7 the money? You're screwed. Who said 3? What you going to be making at the end of year 3? 150? What are your parents making? How much money a year does your dad make? I don't mean to be rude, it's just how I came out. How much money does your dad make? 400. So you make 300K a year, right? Because you're doing it in half the time that he is. Actually, you're making more than 400 because you knock for about 4.5, 5 months. You're making more money a year than your dad is. You're going to quit in 3 years making more money than your dad does. Because knocking's hard, dogs bite you. And what are you going to do? So we're going to go from conquering the world to unemployed. Okay, give it up for him. That's impressive. All right, I'm messing with you guys because there's really only one road that you can pick, and that's entrepreneurism. That's not true. There's another one. You can take your sales skills and you can go on and do something like pharmaceutical sales or whatever, right? You can take this sales knack and you are of value. You have increased your value tremendously. How many of you are graduates? How many of you are going to be graduates? Wow, this is Loserville. Okay, so let me talk to you about something. I'm a loser too, don't worry. Okay? I'm a loser that's sold 8 businesses. And what I want to tell you about loserdom is if you've got a skill, it trumps a piece of paper every day of the week. I'm not saying don't get an education. People think I'm promoting don't graduate. No, I'm just real. And the reality is if you can show me that your top salesperson, your top 3, you generated this, you generated that, the dude with the diploma is screwed. Because I want you, because you're a proven commodity. Let's take sales out of the equation, and let's say I go over here and I get a development degree, and I'm in computer science. I'm doing dev work. I graduate, and it's like I did what mom and dad told me. I'm going to go get myself a job. You know what you're competing against? 32 applications from children who have been developing since they're 14 years old. They've done all these programs. They can show all of this, and you're not getting any consideration because they have relevant work experience. What you're doing for your resume right now is gigantic. It's big. It's bigger than you know, but you'll learn someday. Now, the other thing you're doing is you're making a crap ton of money. And I'm here to kick your butts tonight. Because I'll bet that my parking lot right now is full of gigantic trucks jacked up off the ground with tires bigger than my little battery-powered car out there. Not like a toy car, it's just a battery run. And I'm here to tell you to do something differently with your money tonight. And if you don't do what I tell you tonight, I will hunt you down. I will find you and I will take your money away and I will give you an allowance. You understand that, young lady? Okay? Because it's stupid what I see young people do. You're young and you're making more money than your parents make, and you don't know what to do with it. JT set this up because I'm going to teach you what to do with your quid so that I dramatically accelerate your path forward in life. I am simply going to help you get ahead in life at a dramatically further pace. It's really real what I'm going to teach you today. It's the coolest crap lesson. Okay? Who's in? All right? Don't get too excited. You're not going to like what I'm about to teach you because it has to do with being poor. All right? Anybody in here want to be poor? Don't answer that question yet. I'm going to ask you in a minute. All right, so this is called creating wealth. Tell me, what is wealth? What is wealth? Answer me, quick, go. Generational? What? Oh, shut up, man. Okay, if you've been in my class, you're cheating. What's wealth? Assets. Assets that what? Assets? Go. Income to outcome ratio. What does that mean? Do you speak English? Okay. A lot of people think that wealth is this. In 2009, 10, what was that about? Looks nice. I catch you doing that, I'll hunt you down, man. I'll burn your house to the ground. Okay? It's over. Okay? That ended before you came today. All right, so this is what people think wealth is. In 2008, we had the Great Recession. You guys were all like amoebas or something, right? Well, I went out and I bought up everything. It was free. What do you pay for a house today? You just bought your second house? What did you? You did? Yeah. What did you pay? What's the price per square foot of your new home? And how many square feet? 2,000 square feet. So you paid about 2.25 a square foot, 220, 215, 220. Okay, what if you could buy homes for 25 to 60 bucks a foot? I did too. Yeah. And I got nervous because I was buying so many. I had so many homes. I'm like, hey, I think we're getting a little bit imbalanced, hon. What the mother fetch was I thinking? 25 to 60 bucks a square foot is what we would pay for a home in 2009, 10, and 11. I didn't buy enough. I should have borrowed money. I should have leveraged everything. I should have just kept buying everything that was out there, because now it's 10x that. It was incredible. All right? So my point is, these homes right here, these were highly levered homes. Where JT lives right now, that subdivision, super boss subdivision, really great place, had 2 homes in there. That subdivision cleared out. Because do you know what most people think wealth is? This. They're over-levered. When the crap hits the fan, that's BYU talk. When the crap hits the fan, the math isn't working anymore, and they're screwed. And so I'm here to tell you, my friends, this is not wealth, okay? Wealth looks something very different than this. Wealth, in my opinion, is how long can you subsist if you lost your job today, okay? If your parents lost their income today, mom and dad, both income earners, or just one of them? Both. If they both lost their job today, because we're about to go into a crap show, if they both lost their job, how long could they subsist? 3 to 6 months. Your mom and dad lost their jobs today. How long could they subsist? Couple years. Okay? Does that sound like about the averages? Pretty normal? That's pretty normal. There's a few of you in here that are going to say, No, my mom and dad, they do okay. All right? You want me to answer that question? Eternity. Eternity? Eternity. Because I've sold 8 businesses? No, has nothing to do with it. Because I can't use big words like you, I didn't graduate. But because I own ATMs. Not the ATM that you're thinking of. I own assets that produce money. And the lesson that I'm going to teach you today is how to get assets that produce money. Because what I want you to be able to answer within a few years from now is forever. I'm going to teach you in the next 45 minutes how to answer this question with the words forever. Okay? That's the key to tonight is how can I get really ahead in life with the unrealistic quid I'm making in my early 20s. Because what I see everybody do is exactly the wrong thing. I see gold chains. I see trucks jacked up off the ground. I see all the wrong things. If you will do what I tell you, if you do what I command you to do tonight, you're going to be set for life. You're done. You're good. Done in the good way. Okay? Awesome lesson. You ready? Here we roll. Okay. Savers or spenders? Who in here is a spender? Raise your hand. Come on, get out of the closet right now. You are bad, bad people. Okay? Repent. Change from the error of your ways. Spend right there. See? Hold that up again. Loud and proud. Okay? How much was that watch? 20 G's. Okay? He got his reward. That watch is the reward. Okay? Who in here is a saver? Not enough, but that's pretty good. All right? Savers, opportunities are going to come along, and if you're paying attention, you got to be paying attention, but opportunities are going to come along. You're going to have quid. You're going to be able to jump on them. If you don't have savings, we can't jump on the opportunities. I'm sitting at Thanksgiving dinner, 1995 or 96, I know, long time ago. And my total dork of a brother-in-law, strike that from the record, okay? Delete that out. My total dork of a brother-in-law is sitting here, and he's talking about these carts that he has in the middle of the mall. And he's talking about how they're doing. He's got 3 of them, and they're doing 175 to 250 grand a month. Now, we're talking the middle of the mall, not the stores along the side, like Victoria's Secret. And I can't think of another one, and that's not the one I should have started with. So I'm a perv, okay? I don't go in malls. Zag, there's another one, okay? So these are the carts down the middle. He's making more money than she is. And I'm like, you're a dork. And he's selling one SKU. That means he's got one product. He's got this hat sitting on his cart, and he puts it in a teepee style, and he puts it in a box style. He's got one here and one here. He's got one product. It's called Metabolife. It's a weight loss pill. And I'm sitting down at the end of the table, and I'm listening, and I'm listening, and I'm listening. And I run back home, and I get one of my employees. I have a window and door company at the time. I was not going to get rich running that business. And I grab my employee, and I give this huge book, and it's a catalog, it's a directory of all the malls that are in America. I said, I want you to call every mall. I want you to ask for mall management. Do you have a Metabolife cart? Yes, we do. Thank you. Are you pleased with management? Yes? Okay, thank you, bye. Do you have a Metabolife cart? No? Will you please fax me a contract? Fax is a new verb for you. We used to send a piece of paper through a cord like that. It was fascinating. We would sit and watch this machine, and the paper would come out. It was stunning, wasn't it? Are you too young? Fax machines. Wow. Wow. A paper came out of the cord. I got 17 malls over about the next 4 weeks. Over the next 3 years, those malls made me millions of dollars, my first millions. And then Metabolife came and bought me out because they were going retail, and they paid me the equivalent of what I'd been making the past 3 years for 3 more years to come, and our business was on a decline. It's the most beautiful thing that ever happened. Why did I tell you that story? Because my wife and I were chronic savers. We're savers to this day. I just sold my home for $8 million. It was a priceless piece of property. Priceless. But some dude knocked on my door and said, I want to buy your home. I said, my home's not for sale. He says, I'll give you this amount. My home's for sale. Everything, baby, is for sale, except for my wife and my children. I did sell my dog. Okay. So my point is, I had savings. I didn't have a blingful watch. I didn't turn on my heat because it was baseboard heaters and it was too expensive to run. It was electric. And so I didn't turn on my heater. I froze my arse off. Okay? Sorry, a lot of BYU talk tonight. Okay? It's pretty long. I've been busy. Hey, y'all, I'm building a nativity over in the Riverwoods Office Park Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Come visit me. Cool as crap. If you're a Jesus type person, you come hang with me. All right? Now keep on track. You guys, stay on track. All right. The key to that story is I had savings and I pounced on an opportunity and it changed my life. If you go buy that watch and that truck and those shoes and those sunglasses, you got your reward. You're wearing them. I'm going to teach you. Where's the watch? Who's the watch dude? I'm going to teach you what that watch could do for you instead. I'm not blaming you yet. If you do it after this lesson, you're dead. Okay? All right. So we got to be savers. Hey, everybody on board? Are we going to start saving? I solemnly swear. I will never spend a penny again. All right, good. We're clicking. We're off to a good start. How are you going to obtain your wealth? There's lots of different ways. You guys are smart. You're doing it through summer sales. All right, let's talk about financial security, okay? Financial security comes when we're in the know, when we have financial intelligence. I'm going to teach you some financial intelligence, okay? I wish school would teach you this. Okay, we graduate from school. We buy a house. We buy a car. We start a family. Life's all good. What's my starting salary? I'm not doing summer sales. I'm just getting a job. What's my starting salary? 40, 60, 70, 50 bucks? 55. Okay. Are we okay to agree on 70 grand? All right. I gave you a salary of $70,000. Oh, I can't go backwards? Oh, I can. You just have to look at different buttons. I gave you a salary of 70 G's. That's $58.33 a month. Okay? Now check this out. I don't change this every year. It's too much work. Okay? And I teach this a lot. So go with the numbers for the context of the lesson. Okay? $70,000. Before you ever even get your money when you're employed, this is automatically taken out. Tax Freedom Day. You know what that is? Somebody tell me what Tax Freedom Day is. Nobody knows? What's Tax Freedom Day? You have to work till April 18th in 2023 just to pay your burden to the government. Who's depressed right now? Just Google it. Tax Freedom Day for 2025 was April 15th. Coincided with tax day, just coincidence. You had to work till April 15th of this year just to meet your tax burden to the government. Holy mother. Okay, we live in a great country. It's flawed, but we live in a great country. I'm happy to pay my taxes, but I don't. Okay? Taxes are for other people to pay. It's not un-American. But if America gave me all these tax codes that say I don't have to pay my taxes, then why would I pay them? Right? All right, so that's another lesson we could get into. All right, so here's your mortgage on your house. I bought you a $350,000 house. We put 10% down. We're paying 5% interest over 30 years. Huh, this doesn't exist anymore. This is a box under a bridge. This doesn't exist anymore. All right? But just go with it for purposes of our example. All right? We got to pay our insurance and taxes. They're included. Here's our car payment. Anybody in here LDS? Okay, we got to pay some tithing. Okay, we got to pay back to the Lord. Okay? Savings, got to put some money in savings. And then I gave you some living expenses, $600 a month. Okay, this is $150 a week. Realistic? Not really, right? I mean, utilities alone are probably going to be $1.50. Well, all right, just roll with me on the example because bloody, did I go through it already? See the bottom line? 70 grand a year. I didn't even buy you a realistic house. That won't even buy you a townhome. You can go ahead and adjust the numbers. They don't get better, they get worse. So all of you who are saying 55, you're double screwed because 70's bad. Could be knocking doors longer than we thought, aren't we? All right? But this is the reality, and this is why you can't go from knocking back to getting a job. It doesn't exist. So because I'm a tangential kind of guy, let's just go tangential. When you guys go have your dinner in the Grit Lounge, I want you to go pop your head inside the founder's floor because it's the coolest crap place. That's where we incubate entrepreneurs. Now, I have a program here called ACE, Aspiring Student Entrepreneurs. This is for young people who want to become entrepreneurs. I have all these mentors who come in here and guide our entrepreneurs. They are full of ideas. They're busy with their business and they don't have the bandwidth to go take and start another company. And so what I've told them is, I've got the jockeys. They need a horse to ride. Bring me your horses and I'll pair jockey and horse. You know what it takes to become one of my aces? You don't just fill out an application. Summer sales. I'm only interested in summer salespeople being an ace. Because you've shown me you've got what it takes. If you can't work hard, you should get a job. Jobs are for people who don't know how to work hard. And if you really suck, work for the government. Okay? All right, let's keep moving. All right, bottom line is nobody saves. Okay? Facts. Less than 70% of Americans, approximately 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Credit card debt, that was 2023. I just looked at it. It's $7,600 now. Average credit card debt in America. Guys, we're in trouble. Okay, so you got your job, and the first day on the job, you see you can't pay all your bills. You go get a raise. Here's what it looks like at $90,000. We are minus 400. Now we're plus 400. I need you to remember these numbers. You guys, I'll share these slides with you. You want them, you got them. JT, you got my slides? You share them with everybody. Okay? This is all for you. I want you to win in life. Okay? All right. You get that raise, and the reality is, as human beings, you get a raise, you're just going to spend more money. You're going to get a bigger house. You're going to get a bigger car. It's funny, I point this here, but the thing's back there. It just makes me feel better. Okay, and you're going to have a bigger family. All those things that I just showed you on the expense page, they just multiplied. And that's just the reality of living, okay? So, this is what is called the rat race of life. When people say I'm caught in the rat race, I just showed you what it is. Okay, another thing that I love is over here, I work in a particular department. I won't say what it is, but it's called entrepreneurism. And I'm like, hey, you guys, you've got all these young people getting toward graduation. They're rock stars. But they haven't started a business. I want your rock stars. I want your elites. I'll put them in my ACE program and I'll help them become entrepreneurs. And believe it or not, I was told I'd rather have them go get a job for a couple of years so they can gain some experience. What I just said to you is, here, put this needle in your arm. Do this for a couple years. You're going to feel so good. And then I'm going to ask you to stop in 2 years, okay? Because getting a paycheck is addictive. Once you start getting a paycheck, you're going to stop getting a paycheck all of a sudden to go start a business. You have a mortgage, you have 2 cars, you have 3 little kids, and you're going to stop taking a paycheck. I'll bet you 10 grand you're not. You are now addicted to a paycheck. Get it? Okay, so the rat race, you want to stay out of it. You're on an incredible road. You're starting out. You're gaining a really good skill during summer sales. All right, back to you guys didn't go to school, so let me teach you something quickly, okay? We have assets in life. Assets produce income for us. We have liabilities, and our liabilities produce expenses, okay? Now, there are some examples of assets and liabilities, but I could make an argument on the home that it's not much of an asset. There were a lot of expenses pertaining to that home. It's going to appreciate over time, but for a while, it's a sucker, okay? All right, so let's look at the cash flow pattern of a poor person, okay? A poor person has a job. They don't get a salary. They get an hourly wage. They pay their expenses, and that's their life. That is called living, no assets, just expenses, and that's called living paycheck to paycheck, okay? Don't want to be there. Now let's look at the income, the cash flow of a middle-class family. I'm betting that most of your parents are middle income. Fair? Most of the people in here, this is your parents. They're making a salary. From that salary, they're paying the mortgage on the house, the insurance on the house and the cars, for their car payments, the utilities, the food. They pay their bills, okay? Their asset, their home is their only asset. That's all they got. Anybody? Does that sound right? That's my parents. My mom and dad, their home was their primary asset. And so you'd say, okay, my mom and dad bought their house for 250 G's in 1976. It was a nice home, 5,500 square feet. When I sold it for them 10 years ago, we sold it for 750 G's. So doubled in price. Wow, right? No, 42 years? Not that great. So that was my parents, and although you say, wow, look at the appreciation, my dad would refinance that home every so many years and take money out for whatever. Sound familiar? My brothers do the same thing. Every time there's some money in their home, they take it out, increasing, taking all that equity out. Okay, but this is the cash flow pattern of a middle-class family. Okay, the reality is that home is more of a liability when we start looking at those things. All right, let's go now to, okay, poor and the middle class work for money. Poor live paycheck to paycheck. The middle class spend most of the year working for the company. We could say working for the government till April 18th and April 15th this year. Then they're working for the company, they work for the government, then they work for the bank paying for their mortgage. Right about Christmas time, we have just enough money to buy Christmas presents. And then it's time to start paying for our taxes again, right? Okay, now let's compare the wealthy to the poor and the middle class. The wealthy have assets. Those assets produce income, okay? The wealthy, these are things like income-producing residential, office buildings, apartment complexes, things like that. They consider their home a liability. My home's nothing to me. That's not where I make my money. My money is my real estate portfolio. Those are my assets, okay? All right, the poor only have expenses. The middle class buy liabilities they think are assets. The wealthy buy assets that produce income. How are we going to do this? You ready for the lesson? Freaking long build-up to get there. Run out of time. All right, we are going to go out and we are going to look for income-producing real estate. Another quick lesson first. I need you guys to look at buckets in life, okay? These buckets, when your money comes in, you've got expenses you have to pay for every month, okay? That's unavoidable. We don't want the bucket. We don't want expenses in there that we don't need. But these are common expenses like my car payment for a reasonable car, my utilities, my rent. Please don't rent. You know what renting is? Anybody got $1,000 on them? Anybody got $1,000 in hunters? 10 Huskies? All right, if you did, here's what I'd do. I'd build a little tent out of your Huskies. And I'd squirt lighter fluid on them. And I'd set it ablaze. Would you be sad? But you pay rent every month. What's the difference? It's exactly the same thing. You're like, but bro, church. Wait, I'm not bro church. Wait, Corbin. See, I'm not at BYU anymore, JT. You got to remember, dude. Like, but wait, I have a roof over my head. Okay, I'll give you that. And I love you. I love rent payers. You make me so mother-fetchin' rich. I love you. My point is, I need you to get on the rent receiving side of the equation. If you're on the rent paying side of the equation, you're on the wrong side. And tonight, we're going to change. All right, back to buckets for a minute. We got to have a savings bucket. So we're paying our bills, we have to, but we're keeping these from being unnecessarily high. We're dumping money into savings, okay? Whatever percentage you decide. We've got our give back bucket. We got to give back to society. We got to be doing some good, okay? Don't leave that bucket out. This keeps you sane. This is good for your mind and it's good for your soul. We've got our growth bucket. This bucket right here, this is stocks and bonds. This is things like real estate, whatever. And then you see this bucket down here. What's it called? Bucket is for the casino. You think that this is Texas Hold'em, don't you? You can come on over and play Texas Hold'em with me on Thursday nights. I'll kick your trash. That is not what that bucket is. You can play Texas Hold'em with fives anytime you want, up to $200. That's just fun entertainment. Okay? Well, once a month. If we do it every night, then you've got a problem. 1-800-GAMBLING Anonymous. This bucket right here is buying into startups. Who's invested in a startup? How quickly did you watch your money disappear? You what? Let's go, dude. Oh, that one's good. Manovo's raising at $100 million right now. We're going to do good. That'll probably be my biggest exit ever. Then it's yours too. All right? Manovo's going big. Manovo's really, really good. All right. But the difference is this. I look at 8 to 12 businesses a week. I invest in 12 businesses a year. How many businesses do you see a week? The one that you pick to buy in, I'm going to give you a 100% chance you just flushed that money down the toilet. You are not in a position to play this game. Do not do it. Your buddy, it's a black hole. I'm telling you because I watch this movie every friggin' day. I do it because I'm doing it with petty cash. You are not in a petty cash stage of life yet. I need you to build your base. Once you've built your base, go play. Okay? I asked this question yesterday in Cash. What class? What's your number? When I ask you what's your number, what do you need to sell a business for to be good? What's your number, Blue? Pay heed. What's your number? 10, 15 mil. What's your number, dude? No, don't lean in front of him. I asked him. You leaned in front of him. Don't bail him out. What's your number? 50 mil. What's your number? 20 mil. All right, if I were to do some quick math with you, you sell your business for 10 mil. You got 7.5 because you got 25% going to capital gains, 18% to the feds, 7% to the state of Utah. 7.5 remains. You go buy yourself $1 million house. It's a starter home. Go buy yourself $1 million house. Go buy mama a car. Go buy you a car. Sorry. Go buy dad a car. Go buy you a car. Okay? We're going to go buy a boat. Why are we going to buy a boat? No. Because you love your family, fool. Okay? Boats bring families together. It's an awesome time. You sit there, there's no screens, and we jam to tunes, and it's family together time. Okay? But we got no expenses. We got $6 million left. You know what happens with that $6 million? That's $6 million at 14% is bringing you in $700,000 a year. Just imagine an ATM sitting right here. That ATM's kicking out $700,000 a year. You pay your taxes and you've got 500 G's left. Can you live on 500 G's? Now, if you're a fool, you go buy a second home in Portofino that you're going to visit one time a year. Now, just slice off a great big chunk of that ATM. It's gone. Don't do it. Right there, you're done. You're done. You can rent a home in Portofino for that week, really the nicest home there, for 10 G's, and you've still got the ATM kicking out $700,000 a year. But we're not talking about entrepreneurs, and we're not talking about selling a business tonight. We're summer sales. How am I going to do this with Summer Sales Quid? You ready? Here we go. First of all, you have to subscribe to this. You have to subscribe to the theory that I am poor. Can I please have your watch?
Do you own one?
No, I can't afford this crap.
What?
No, I'm a rich mother something.
That looks good.
No way, man. It's upside down. How do you even tell the time? Dude, I can't afford this crap. I'm way too poor. You have to subscribe to the theory of I am poor. Because if you will do this, we are going to channel all of this year's money. You need to do summer sales for 2 years to qualify to do this. But on January 1, after your second summer of selling, you qualify to buy a home. And this is what we're going to do. When I talk to you about income producing real estate, okay? You're thinking, come back to that phrase in a minute, don't focus on that. When you're thinking about income producing real estate, you go right to duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. The problem with those are, your mom and dad have gotten to 50-ish years old, and they've talked to enough people, and they see enough people who are chilling in life, and they've asked why, and those people are living on rental income. And your parents are like, what? What's that? Tell me more. And they're pissed because their life sucks. And they want to be living like those people. So everybody's looking for do's, tries, and fours. And they're running in this area right here, they're going to run you $275 to $350 a foot. The math doesn't work. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go look for a home with a basement apartment. A home with a basement apartment is a duplex. It's got 2 living spaces in it. You're going to buy that home and you're going to rent one of those floors. Which one are you going to rent? Which one are you going to live in? Why are you going to live in the basement? You just made, how much money are you going to make this year? 150, 200, you're a rich mother. For your age, that's a lot of money. Why would you live in the basement? I got a Rolex. Why would you live in the basement? Why would you live in the... You are?
I am poor. I am poor.
Louder.
I am poor.
Poor people are basement dwellers. And he said it, the top floor will pay more rent than the bottom floor will. The math is a little off right now, and it fluctuates. But I have a couple 120-year-olds who have 1, 2, 4, 5, 25 homes. Thomas Wilkinson in the back, I think he's got, not homes, doors. A duplex is 2 doors. A fourplex is 4 doors. I would say Thomas probably has, I don't know, 24 or 28 doors, and I'd say he's 30 years old. Okay? Tyler Jackson. The dude lives on a farm now somewhere in BF something. And he told me, he was in my class as a guest a couple weeks ago, and I think he said he owns 36 doors. He's 29 years old. Why am I teaching you this lesson? Because you can go buy a Rolex, you can go buy a big jacked up truck, or you can go buy income producing real estate. This year, you go buy number one. You live in the basement. The people upstairs, you know what they're going to do? They are going to buy you your parents' biggest asset. At today's math, what you're going to pay for a home, what your mortgage is going to be, you're going to ask me the question, how much money do I put down? The very smallest amount you have to. Because I need you to have quid on hand to buy the next one. Okay? But you're going to live in the basement and the people upstairs are going to pay 70% of your mortgage. 2 years ago, they would be paying your entire mortgage. Things fluctuate, they change. I think we're coming back down, but we'll see. Okay, interest rates impact it and house prices impact it. And the Utah market's hot. Hot, hot. So we pay a little bit more here. My daughter bought a home, listen carefully, Cinco de Mayo. Maybe it's in here. Okay, let's just keep going here. These are just examples. These are basement apartments. Get you the gist, okay? Income producing real estate. We buy one. At the end of next sale season, we come home with all our new quid. What are we going to do? We're going to buy another one. End of the third year, we're going to come home. What are we going to do? We're going to buy another one. Now, what happened? I'm living in the basement of this one. I buy number two. I come over here. Where do I live? Why would I live in the basement when I'm a multiple real estate owner?
I am poor.
Okay? And after your third year of sales, what are you going to do? You're going to buy another one. And this time, are you going to live upstairs? No. Why?
Because I am poor.
It's working. This psychological thing I've got going, it's working. This is fascinating because somebody is literally buying you your parents' biggest asset. Your parents might be exceptions, but for the norm, somebody else is buying you their biggest asset. I teach this lesson every semester across the street, and every semester I get in trouble. Because little Johnny runs home and tells Mom and Dad, oh my gosh, I just learned the most cool lesson. I'm going to buy a home. And somebody from administration calls me and says, bro church, and in this circumstance, I am bro church. What are you teaching little Johnny and Susie? You're supposed to be teaching entrepreneurism. I said, I'm teaching them to buy a house their freshman year. Well, that's ridiculous. People don't buy houses their freshman year. I say, yes, they do if they're doing summer sales. They hate me teaching this lesson because mommy and daddy just want you to focus on getting your degree. I want you to buy a house your freshman year. Your sophomore year, I want you to buy another house. Your junior year, I want you to buy your third. Your senior year, I want you to buy your fourth. And 10 to 12 years from now, you will have a real estate portfolio that is equal to any job, equal in income to any job you would have gotten coming out of college. You walk out of here tonight, you cross the road because you illegally parked in the state parking lot across the street. That was a no-no. But the little brat driving his Beamer down the street was texting and ran you over. Unfortunately, you lived. Life sucks, but then you lived. You're a quadruped. You are incapable of making an income. You know what? It doesn't matter. You have an ATM. I get that they were only paying 70% of your mortgage, but when you moved from number one to number two, what did you do with that basement? And what happened when you rented it?
It paid the whole mortgage.
And then some.
A little more.
So you're now what?
Cash flow.
You're now cash flow positive. When you buy number three and you put somebody in the basement of number two, what happens? I'm cash flow positive in number one. Now, don't you get worried? What if there's a downturn in the economy and I've got all this real estate? Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay 10 mortgages? What am I going to do? That's scary, right? No, dumb craps. When the economy goes down, people can't afford homes and they rent more. In the state of Utah, this is different in other states. In the state of Utah, when I put one of our units up for sale, I have anywhere from 20 to 40 applications within 24 hours. My tenant quality in the state of Utah is 4 stars across the board. They're incredible. Now, I own 198 units in Oklahoma City and 357 units in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's not even go there. It's a super depressing story. Okay? So we keep going, we keep going, we keep going. 10 to 12 years from now, you have passive income. You are no longer poor. You may now buy yourself a Rolex. He said I could have it. I wouldn't even know how to tell time. Now let's go back to that quote you saw on the screen a minute ago. If you will live for the next 10 to 12 years like nobody else is willing, you guys are going out and banking serious quid doing summer sales. But let's say you are dumb enough to go get a job at KPMG and go punch keyboard, right, on a screen thing. And you're making 70 grand a year. You can still do this. It's just a matter of what type of home you choose to buy. What I taught you tonight is a very specific principle to catapult yourselves forward in life. If I were to ask the incredibly obvious, stupid question of who in here wants to catapult their life forward, who would raise their hand? Why would you be doing summer sales if you didn't want to catapult yourself forward? This job sucks. People are so rude and dogs bite you. You are doing this because you're catapulting your lives forward. What I'm trying to teach you tonight, thank you, gentlemen, for having me. I am trying to teach you what to do with the extraordinary quid you're going to make. Don't do what most summer salespeople do. Don't do it. Go take this hard work and set yourselves up for life. Go live the American dream on steroids. Go buy 10, 12 homes, own every one of them, and boom. Now, let's continue this story real quickly, just a little bit. 10 to 12 years. Here you go. This is a big one. 12 years from now, you got a beautiful spouse. You got little critters running around. You're heading out on a fishing trip with the boys. Plane doesn't quite get up to altitude. Smack into the side of the mountain. You're dead. I know, I tell gruesome stories. Sorry. But the point of my story is this. Oh, your spouse was on the plane with you. It wasn't a boys' trip. It was a spa trip. You know what? That ATM you just built, still there. Your job at KPMG crashed into the side of the mountain with you. The income's over that day. The amazing lesson that I just taught you survived the plane crash. It lives on. I don't think there is a more profound lesson that I could teach somebody your age than this right here. I don't know what percentage of you in this room will go forward with this and execute on it. That is a personal question each of you have to ask yourself. Am I going to do this? I don't know. You have the capacity to do it, and when I teach it over there, the vast majority of them don't have the capacity. They won't do it. First of all, most people aren't willing to live poor enough to do this. My youngest daughter has 2 of these. The one she bought that I started to tell you the story of, Cinco de Mayo 2021. She paid $318 for a house over here on Carterville Road. You know, when you go down by the gym, that road that goes down by the quarry, she owns the house right there as you get to the bottom of the hill. She paid $318 for it. Her mortgage is $1,555. I think it's in here. There it is. There's the beauty. Here's the math. Okay, 323, Cinco de Mayo 2020, square footage 2026. She rents the downstairs for $1,400. She rents the upstairs. She now rents this for $1,200. This is $1,800. She's $3,000 a month, and her mortgage is $1,555. Somebody is buying my 26-year-old daughter that house. She now lives in Springville in her third home. When I go to her house, don't tell her, but I really don't like to visit, her ceilings are so low that I have to walk through her house like this because the HVAC, the heating and air conditioning ducts are so low, I have to duck. She and her husband are short people. Not that kind of short people, just shorter than normal. They have to duck. Sorry, I go inappropriate sometimes. I have to duck to walk through their home. She's embraced living poor. She could sit and wait for her golden egg to roll in. She's good. She's good for life, but that's not what she's doing. She's living poor and she's amassing real estate. Her older sister, who watched her make money at summer sales, said, I got to go do summer sales. She ran out and did summer sales. She just bought her second duplex. See this? I mean, just take a moment and take this in. Have you ever seen anything so ugly in your entire life? I mean, we should all take a moment and throw up. Where's the front door? That's literally the front door. Okay? See this back here? This is another lot. And today, that has another home on it. Okay? She's in 2023. She paid $34.40. Her mortgage is $3,900. She rents the upstairs for $1,800. She rents the downstairs for $1,800, the upstairs for $2,500. So she's $4,300 on a $3,900 mortgage. She doesn't even have the option of living in that home. She lives in my basement. She now has 2 of these on the same piece of property. She rents all levels of both homes. Somebody's buying her 2 homes, and at 28 years old, she's still living with mom and dad, with her husband, with their baby. Because she has embraced living poor. And dang, I love it. It's freaking cool. My granddaughter's with me. Do you get it? They don't care. They would rather live with their parents, go to church with me, and have people say, you still live with your parents? Yeah. Because you live in a fully mortgaged home. You're poor as crap. She owns 2 homes that people are making the mortgage on. Do you get the difference? What we think is rich is just stupid. This is smart. Okay, moving along, speed of dark. Okay, this is a trailer park. As you get going in this, there's something that comes after you get on this road. Somebody called me and said, hey, check out this trailer park in Ivans. I bought this trailer park. I paid $335,000 for it. It had 6 units. Here's the math on it. I'm about to tell you what math is all about. My monthly income was $1,614 on my $335,000 investment. Well, this is what it looked like. I kicked everybody out. The trailers were full of asbestos, so I couldn't haul them to the dump like I was planning. But the polygamists drive along, and they're like, can we have your trailers? You want my trailers? They took my trailers. I didn't even have to throw them away. So everybody leaves. I want you to see this. Look what happens when they left. This is what people who have no pride do. They don't even care. All this stuff was left. It was a junkyard. This is what I built in its place. This is that piece of property. So here's the new math. $335,000 for the property. I put $1,050,000 in it to build the 6 units. I now have rent of $9,600 times 6 units, $1,600 a month. I now make $3,548 net income on my $1,385 investment. Some dude from California comes in and says, I want to buy your property. I said, my property's not for sale. He says, I'll give you this much. I think it was $4.8 million. My property's for sale. And I don't own this anymore. But it was a long-term hold till Mr. California came along. I'm not bragging. I'm trying to illustrate to you that if you will get on this road, good things will happen to you. You are going to be on an accelerated learning path. You're going to learn finances. You're going to learn management. You're going to learn all kinds of things that other people aren't learning because they're working at KPMG, going to church, going to work, doing life. That's fine. It's not fine for me. If it's fine for you, that's cool. But it's not fine for me. So if this jives with you, jump on this path, because what did I say to you? This will accelerate everything in your life to your benefit. Now, here's what that looks like, okay? All right. Sorry, I've taken too long. This dude, you know him? Mitt Romney. When you were children, this dude was running for president. Fascinating. He was leading. He was going to be our president. We actually would have had integrity in the White House. What an interesting concept. But the country was demanding that he release his tax returns. And they pushed and he said no. And they pushed and he said no. And they pushed and he said no. It's not your business. Finally, the pressure got too hot and he released his tax returns, which revealed that Mr. Romney paid 14.1% in taxes. And that was the day that he lost the election. Because you know what America said? You're not paying your fair share of taxes. Bunch of nimwits we are. Don't we want the smartest person in the country running our country? Don't we want the guy that's going to get America out of paying its least amount of taxes that it has to? He does nothing illegal. My number's much lower than his. I haven't paid taxes in, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago I paid some. Why would I pay taxes if I don't have to? Let me teach you a word that's really, really special. It's the D word. It's called depreciation. When you own a lot of real estate, you have massive depreciation. And depreciation reduces your tax bill dramatically. When you own a lot of businesses, you have a ton of write-offs. Okay? You build up great big negative balances, you sell a business, you got this big credit, you don't have to pay any taxes. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. All right, I tell you these things because if you'll get on this path, you're going to be on an accelerated path of learning. A couple quick things, okay? This is my board of directors, okay? You see my children are very happy. They said, Dad, don't put our faces up in front of everybody. Where do you think we hold our board of directors meetings? Kitchen table? Last year, we held them in Vietnam. The year before that was Hawaii. IBM does it. Why can't I? This is my board. Okay? You get it? Okay? Here's all these homes that I bought, right? Well, someday I want to simplify things and I want to take all of those homes and I want to just buy one apartment complex and consolidate so I have fewer callers. Okay, now let me teach you something really cool. IRS code 1031. IRS code 1031 says, bro church. Interesting that the IRS would call me bro church. IRS says, bro church, you bought all these homes. You bought 10 of them for $350,000 a piece. Over 10 years, you had an increase of $1 million. Now you got $4.5 million to invest when you sell all those, but wait a minute, you got to pay cap gains of 25%, okay? That means the government share is 250 Gs. Wrong, because you know what IRS code 1031 says? IRS code 1031 says, hey, you sold all those, you did a great job. Why don't you take our money? Uncle Sam says, why don't you take my money and why don't you reinvest my money alongside yours when you rebuy? When you have financial intelligence, you get much further ahead in life. Everybody else just pays their taxes, okay? IRS code 1022, I don't know exactly what it is right now, but if I invest in your business and it's a C Corp, do you know what that is? It's 1020. Do you know what I'm talking about? IRS code 10 something, 1022 or something. I invest in your business. You come to me, you got an LLC, I'm going to make you make it a C Corp. I give you 150 Gs. 6 years from now, you sell your business for what? $225 million. My first $15 million of gains on my investment in his business, tax-free, because of IRS code 1022. First 15 million of gains, tax-free. Why do the rich keep getting richer? Because the rich make the rules. If you're offended by that, sorry. My suggestion to you is jump on the side of the fence you want to be on. I'm not trying to stand up here and be arrogant. That's not who I am. 1202, thanks. My numbers were all there. I just didn't go to school, so I can't put them in the right order. It's like The Price is Right. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm trying to get across a point to y'all. There are different ways to play the same game. I want you to get ahead in life. I want you to be successful, and I want you to live a good life. But more importantly, if you have excess, you can really bless the lives of other people. You can go buy Rolexes, you can buy jacked up trucks, you can do all this stuff. But you also have the option to really bless other people's lives. Because there are a lot of people out there who have sucky lives. Things beyond their control. And we can bless the lives of other people if we have excess. The pursuit of excess is not bad. Perhaps what you do with your excess can be bad. Go make a lot of quid. Go get way, way, way ahead in life. Use it to do a lot of good. This right here is a path for young people. If I go teach this lesson to a 32-year-old, why isn't it going to work? Tell me why this lesson isn't going to work for a 32-year-old. They're stuck in the rat race. What? They're set in their ways. They're addicted. Go. They got the needle. Keep going. Am I? What?
They're comfortable.
Am I going to live in a basement with a 10 and 12-year-old? Their kids, their friends come over to play. They're like, seriously? Let's not play at your mom and dad's house. Let's go to mine. Your mom and dad are so poor. It's not going to work. I'm teaching you in your 20s because you can live poor. You can implement this principle, and if you will live for the next 10 to 12 years like nobody else is willing, your friends aren't willing to do this. You go tell them this story, they'll say, that's stupid. You will live the rest of your lives like nobody else is able. That's why JT, boys, brought you here. This will change your life. It will accelerate your path to comfort if you'll do this. You're making the money. Be smart with it. That's my message to you. Questions? Anybody? Go. We're out of time. Faster. Faster. Go. Faster. Faster. Time's up. You. Go.
I've read like a little bit of Robert Kiyosaki's book.
Okay. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And you had briefly mentioned about paying off a house. And
Yeah.
I know his philosophy on it is briefly that I know is slightly different. He agrees to pull out the equity out of the home, but then to use that equity instead of what most average homeowners do, they go and spend it, go bail their cousin out of prison. But Robert Kiyosaki then takes that money
And I told you don't go buy a big jacked up truck.
Right.
Do you have a big jacked up truck out there?
No.
Okay, good. I was starting to get mad, and then I calmed down.
But yeah. And so
Look, it's Guy Kiyosaki, okay? And everybody ready? Take this note down. You got a homework assignment leaving today. Nobody's taking down the notes with the mother fetch. I want you to go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. One of the best books you're going to read. I want you to go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's this lesson right here, but he doesn't tell you how to do it. Okay? But it's a fascinating listen. while you're working out, while you're hiking, whatever, just listen to him because it's really, really interesting. Okay? Just talks about 2 different lifestyles, and I want you to listen to it. It's good. But to answer your question, look, there's different ways to skin this cat. I don't even know what that metaphor means. Okay? But I've heard it before. I'm not smart enough. But I want you to buy as many homes as you can. And so at some point, the banks are going to stop loaning you money at 3 to 5%. You can get away with this being your primary residence about 3 times. I've seen 4. I've seen 5. You're pushing the envelope. You got 2, maybe 3. You've done this? You got 2, maybe 3, and you're not going to get primary residence anymore. Primary residence gives you the least amount of money down. I want you to hold on to as much money as you can because I want you to buy the next one, and I want you to buy the next one, and I want you to buy the next one. If we've got enough of that going, then there are other places we can park money to make it start working for us, okay? If somebody's buying your home for you, I don't care what you're paying for it, okay? You're going to have to start putting down 20% soon. Save that money and be ready for that because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're 20% down. It's unavoidable. But you're also got a lot lower payment when you're doing that. But it's unavoidable. You can't get away with the game anymore. Okay? Is that helpful? Yeah. Okay. What's your question? It's always best to have a mix. You are never smart to put all of your eggs into one basket. That's really important, okay? We're putting all of our eggs in one basket because stuff can happen. Right now, I would be very scared to play the stock market. There's a lot of very smart people saying massive correction coming within 2 years. CEO of JP Morgan Chase Bank just said within 2 years we're going to see a massive correction. Maybe he's wrong. We hear this stuff all the time. People can be wrong. But those people know a lot, and they see a lot of trends and things, and we're way, way overdue. We pumped $6.5 trillion of phony money into the market. We don't even know what reality is anymore because we so screwed it up. There is a reckoning. Fake 6.5 mil put into the market. The stock market is soaring. I saw it's gone up 87% or something in the last 14 or 15 months or something. I would not be playing that game, but I don't know it. I've never played the stock market. It scares me, and I'll tell you why it scares me. It scares me because I don't know. I'm not smart enough to play the stock market. If you're going to play the stock market, you need to study your butt off. You need to play with little amounts of money, and you need to work your way up and become very, very skilled. It's gambling, okay? You got to know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, go play that sport. I play the gambling bucket. That's my sport. I'm pretty good at it. I'm really good at it, okay? The amount of failures I've had in the past 4 years, considering the average, it's a good batting average. But I also see a lot, and I get to cherry pick the very best. It's not a sport you should play in. Real estate, you could all be experts in real estate in 90 days. If you will jump on Zillow, stop the porn, okay? Stop the scrolling. No more scrolling. No more swiping, okay? It's a lot to ask of you, I realize. Your new porn is Zillow. Okay? Ladies, you all owe me for that, okay? You owe me, ladies. But I'm serious. I want you studying Zillow. I want you looking for homes with basement apartments. I want you to look at what their price is, what their price per square footage, what you could rent that home for, how close to cash flow positivity can I get, what if I lived in the basement, what if I'm here? You can't buy this home, you're not ready. You don't know enough. Check it out, save it, take a screenshot, save it, Keep going. Save them, save them, save them. You are in college right now learning to become a real estate expert. Okay? I want you surfing Zillow from now on. Nothing else. What's your question? Yeah. Opportunist. I've been called by a lot of people to be an opportunist. In my life, I started a window and door business, 2 more window and door businesses in different locales. I started Metabolife. I did a skincare company. I did an express shipping company. I did a weight loss company. I did 2 fitness companies. I did women's fashion, first purses, then belts and shoes, and then I retired. Can you connect the dots on those businesses? People buy them. I like when people buy them. Okay? When people buy them, I get really pumped because I get a lot of money. And so, look, everybody says you love cars. Go start a business that has something to do with cars. I call BS. Be paying attention every day, everywhere you go for opportunities. When that opportunity slaps you up the side of the head, you jump. This dude will take anything. He's my pal. You jump on that opportunity. I'm serious. That's what you're looking for, is the opportunity. You're not trying to go in and niche this thing out. Watch for something too big, and you got money sitting in your bank account, and go make it happen. Be an opportunist. That's all I've been. I've never come up with an idea in my life. I'm not smart enough. I take other people's ideas to market and bank. Okay? Did that answer your question? It's your second question, dude. I try never to. Back in my days when I was a little bit older than you, but had a family and kids and stuff, I tried to never roll all the bones. I took measured risks. I never wanted to start over. That was too scary for me. So I would roll the bones, but I never put it all on the line because I didn't want to start over. Okay? Oh, starting those businesses, those didn't cost that much, and I usually used opium. I usually started those businesses with opium, other people's money, because if you're a great salespeople, you can get other people's money to start your business with. Okay? You need 125 grand, go get 5 people at 25 grand to start your business. It's not that tough. Sorry for hitting you. You got a question?
Yeah, so you gave this presentation, I think it was 2 years ago, or maybe it was last.
Was it 2 years ago?
I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I remember you saying in that one, because everyone was freaked out.
Same slides as last time.
Yeah, everyone was worried about interest rates and getting into a house, and they're like, well, once interest rates come down, it's been 2 years since then, like, what is your message to people who are, like, waiting for the perfect time to get into a house? Because so many guys in here have the down payment ready for a house. They're just afraid to get in because.
All right, he's asking me to look into a crystal ball. That's literally what he just asked me to do. So this is strictly opinion. What I've talked to you about so far is right up there next to the Bible. Okay? This is as good, this is almost, I don't want to get struck by lightning. This is almost as good as what's in the Bible. I'm doing a nativity, like I'm a believer. I just like to be sarcastic, okay? Listen, the answer to his question is, I think you should go buy a home right now. There are 1.5 million people sitting on the sidelines right now waiting to buy a home. What are they waiting for? Interest rates to come down. They've come down twice. In another 10 days, 12 days, they're going to come down again. When they get low enough, that 1.5 million people are diving into the pool. Right now, home prices are as low as we've seen them in a couple of years. When interest rates get low enough and everybody jumps in the pool, what's going to happen to the home price? Can I change the price of the home after I buy it? No, I'm screwed. But can I change the interest rate? Yeah. Go buy right now because home prices are low. Refinance in a year or two and get a better rate. I think right now is as good as it gets. I'm back buying. I haven't bought for a while. But I'm not buying aggressively because I think we're headed to the toilet. But I don't think Utah is going to get swirled down that toilet as far as the rest of the country is. And the rest of the country is already softening greatly. So we're seeing something happen. I don't think you're going to see it here. I'd go buy. That's my advice to you. Yes, sir. 2 more and we're done. You first. State matters a lot. Quality of tenant is a big deal. I have had people crap in my apartments. I have had people bust down walls and stuff. People that don't have class and care, they will abuse your property. And so when you come in, you get their deposit, and it doesn't even come close to the damage that you have to repair. It's not the deposit versus the damage as much as it is how long is it going to take me to repair this, and I just lost that rent. Comprende? It's really important that we get a good tenant. Don't mess with FICO. We go to a certain point, we don't let people in before that. If they've ever had a BK, a foreclosure, or an eviction, there's no question. And there's one other thing, a felony. Don't need somebody in our apartment who touches kids. We don't touch any of those circumstances. You're not welcome, okay? Those things we do not compromise on. It will cost you so much more. Wait 7, 8, 9 more days and get a good tenant. Well, it's more about how are you going to manage units in different states. There are things that come up that you have to deal with. If you've got a family member in those states that could go pop in and do something for you, you're okay. You don't know what a tool is. You think it's a guy that whatever. You need somebody to do the work on your place. You're going to hire it out anyway. But you need somebody to go, like, check on things, whatever. All right? I have somebody managing, I've actually sold OKC in Memphis. But I always had somebody managing them. I'd go out once a month to check in on them. I couldn't drive through my own complex in Memphis. I couldn't drive through it. I'd end up dead. It was sketch. We were driving through it with my wife, and this dude was staring us down, and I said, "Sweetie, I'm dead serious. Do not look out your window. Look straight ahead." And I bolted between 2 cars and got out of there as quickly as I could. But we made really, really, really good money. You're last. Finish us up. What? Talk louder. Uh-huh. Are you 20 years old? Nice job, dude. You are well positioned for life, and I'm being dead serious. You to get these lessons and be doing what you're doing at 20, let's go. Right now, you're going to be breaking even. The market's expensive right now. You're going to be breaking even, okay? As you buy number 2 and you put somebody in the basement of this one, you're going to be slightly cash flow positive. Those metrics could change a year from now. They could change 2 years from now. Right now, you're going to do well to break even. The math isn't in our favor. So you're like, bro church. What do you call me bro church for? I'm not your bishop. But anyway, you say, Corbin, why should I buy right now if that's what the circumstance is? Because the economy is always going like this, folks. It's always going up and down. You're going to buy here, 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 and here to get to 12. If you think you're going to buy all 12 right here, you're the laughing stock. It's not going to happen. You buy when you find something that makes mathematical sense. Okay? When you're ready, don't contact me. What do I say right now, JT? Finish the line. Who do they call? You get with JT, and JT, I will give you the contact of someone who does all of my purchases for me. He will help you find a piece of property that is cash flow positive. It will make sense, or I'll lop off his head. Okay, his name's Tyler Jackson. He's really good. I bought my last 5 or 6 properties from him. Okay? Yeah. There it is. It's in the deck. You all got the deck. You don't need to take a picture. That's who you talk to. You guys are awesome. I love you. Good luck. Let's go. Sorry, man. You're way off.
Corbin, I think my favorite thing we did last time was the chant. So everybody with me now. I am poor. I am poor. I am poor. It's gonna be all over social media. The grit is poor. Let's go. Let's go. Turn up. To answer your question about investing at 20, go back to episode 1 of the Wealth Equation. It talks about compounding. I talked about compounding. The biggest advantage that we all have in this room is raise your hand if you're 30 or older. Basically no one. And Parker and Garth and a lot of the guys that are 30 have been investing and have millions of dollars invested, and so they'll just get ahead. And so if you just get in the habit of investing, you'll be wildly wealthy. And your benefit, what Corbin has, is lots of money. You have time. And so it's the question of would you trade places with Warren Buffett? And the answer is no. He's about to die, even though he has $100 billion, right? And it's the gift of life. Guys, we got J-Dogs. They're pre-blessed because we're here at iHub, and everything that Corbin touches is holy. Tomorrow, LSS, everyone's invited, 4 o'clock, 4 to 6:30. And then we have the Golden Door panel tomorrow at 7. How many Golden Doors did we have this year? 18. That's amazing. Let's go. I don't know if the rest of the industry had 18. Most companies don't have 2. We have 2 with the same name in Logan Wright. I mean, it's just wild. That's tomorrow, Wednesday. Thursday, we have the awards night, which is open invite for everybody who sold with us last summer at 7. Correct, Garth? 7 o'clock, awards night. 7 to 8:30, and then
At LSS, if you're in person, you get this nice.
you don't look as bad as Garth. It'll look way better. Way better. And then Saturday night at the Union, we have the gala. It's going to be an awesome week. We have the Jazz game Sunday at 6 against OKC. Grit is the sponsor of the night, so our name will be everywhere, and we can bring as many people as we like. So that would be awesome. It's going to be a phenomenal week. Let's go have J-Dogs. We love you tons. Let's go. You're going to go.